Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I will be telling you guys a story time about this time this guy got paid to do what, I don't know. You're gonna have to wait and find out. That's the point of the video. So I was friends with this guy in 7th grade. This all happened in 7th grade. I was friends with him and we actually went to the same elementary school together, but we never talked or anything because, you know, cooties. So in 7th grade we became really good friends. We had the same mutual friends, we had classes, his friend's locker was like right next to mine, so somehow, someway he was just always around, like could not get rid of him. So the one day we were at my locker and I was putting books into my book bag, and this girl comes up to us and she was like, "You guys make a really cute couple, like have you guys thought about dating?" And at this point, I had been sheltered like all of my life, so like I didn't know what this meant. I didn't know like what to say, how to react, or anything like that. So I was just like, "No, we're just friends, like, you know." So then the girl ends up leaving, like, you know, she left. So then he looked at me with like his head sideways and he was like, "You don't think we make a cute couple?" And I was like, I mean, I don't know, like, do you think we make a cute couple? So he was like, yeah, he's like, I think we make a cute couple. And I was like, it's probably the dark hair. Why would I say that? I don't know, like, I mean, it's me. So anyways, so then I thought about it for like 2.5 days, and I told the girl that said that we make a cute couple, I told her, I was like, I think I'm gonna ask him out. And then she was like, well, like, okay, like when, where, and like all that. So I told her and I was like, it's gonna be this day, I'm gonna wear this outfit. Like I had everything planned to a T. And how I was gonna ask him out was, in the morning I was gonna tell him to meet me after school at my locker because my friend likes him and she wanted to ask him something. And then she was like, okay, like I'll be there, whatever, because I told her like I wanted her to be there. And this is the key, I told her I wanted to do it in the crowded hallway, to where he was going to be at my locker and then I was going to grab his hands. I know, about to get a little romantic on y'all, okay? I was going to grab his hands, look him in his eyes, and be like, will you go out with me? And she was like, oh, okay, like that's cute or whatever. That's not cute, don't lie, okay? So then what happens is because I like thought about it for like the 2.5 days, like I thought about it and I was like, holy crap, like what if this dude likes me? Like what if he's been flirting with me and I've been like dodging him and I'm like not even, because again, I didn't know at this point, you know, like if a guy likes you, how is he supposed to act or whatever. Like I didn't know any of that. So here's the day. Finally, the day finally came, okay? And I told him in the morning at my locker, I was like, by the way, my friend likes you, and she wants you to meet her at my locker after school. Like she wants to ask you something. I don't know what it is, but like, you know, she wants to ask you something. So he was like, okay, who's your friend? And I was like, oh, girl code, like I can't be saying anything. So he was like, okay. So he's like, do I know her? And I was like, yeah, you know her. And he was like, okay. So he starts like, he was like, okay. So then I'm like so excited, like I'm like, okay, like this is either gonna go good or it's either gonna go bad, like one way or the other, I'm gonna learn something out of it. So then it's after school and I'm all the way at the opposite end of the school, okay? So like I'm all the way, my locker's all the way upstairs, so I had to go from like here all the way like upstairs to my locker. So by the time I got up there, because everything was like going so slowly this day, like I don't know like what the heck was going on, but like the universe did not want me to be with this guy, okay? So then what happens is I'm upstairs at my locker and there's only 3 people in this hallway because everybody else is gone, and I did not want to miss my bus. And that's like the main, like I was freaking out because I was like, I can't miss my bus, like I can't miss my bus, I don't want to miss my bus, like oh my goodness. So then what happens is I go upstairs to my locker. Again, there's like 3 people and they're like already leaving, so like I'm the only one in the hallway and I'm like freaking out and everything, and I'm like, okay, I can't miss my bus. So then I hear a guy's voice and I hear a girl's voice coming up the stairs, okay? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're probably late too, like I need to get a move on, like I need to go. So as I'm putting my books into my book bag and like taking them out, putting them in my locker and stuff like that, it's the guy and the girl. Like it's my friend, the girl, and it's the guy that, you know, about to be my guy, okay? So they come up to my locker, and he's just chilling, like, he's, like, leaning up against the locker, drinking his Gatorade, okay? And I'm, like, panicking. Like, I'm just, like, like, I'm out of breath and everything. And, he's like, where's your friend? I didn't have a backup plan at this point, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I really thought, like, I was going to ask him out and everything. So then what happens is, he's like, where's your friend? He was like, where's your friend at? And I was like, she left, but she wanted me to ask you something. So I rip up a sheet of paper. I kid you not, it's that big, okay? Because, like, I was, like, freaking out so much. Like, I ripped it out, and it was, like, that big. And I was like, crap. So I wrote, will you go on the one side, and on the other side, I said, out with me. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? I don't know. I ask myself this every single day. But anyways, so then I, like, gave it to him. I was like, my friend wanted me to give you this. Like, you know, even though I had just wrote it, and he just seen me write it. He was like, who's your friend, though? So, like, I can say yes or no. And I was like, did not think I would get this far. Did not think I would ever get this far. So I was like, the friend is me. I am the friend. I'm asking you. So he was like, oh, okay. He didn't sound like that. But he was like, oh, okay. So then him and the girl walk off. But, like, before they walk off, I was like, answer me back later. Like, you know, because we always used to talk on MySpace, like, back when MySpace was, like, popping and everything. So I was just kind of like, you know, answer me back later. So he was like, okay. So he's, like, leaving, and before he goes, like, down the stairs, him and the girl, like, he says yes into his right shoulder. And the reason I know this is because I was putting on my jacket, so, like, I was, like, looking at him as he was, like, walking away. I know. So, he was like, yes, like, into his, like, his right shoulder. So I was just like, was this to me? Like, were you happy that I asked you out? And you're like, yes. Or, like, did the girl ask you, like, you know, oh, did she ask you out? And you're like, yes. Like, I don't know who the hell he said yes to. So then what happens is, so later that night I go home and I'm on MySpace, and he messages me, and he's like, oh, by the way, like, I said yes to your question. And I was like, yeah, I thought so. You know. I was like, yeah, I thought so. But I just, like, didn't know, like, I wanted to make sure. And then he was like, yeah, he's like, you know, he's like, you should have told me that you liked me, so that way, like, I can, like, you know, ask you out or whatever. I was like, it's fine, like, who cares, like, who cares who did the asking, like, you know. So we date on our 1 week anniversary, because yes, people, that is a real thing, okay? A week anniversary is, like, that's like a milestone, okay? That's sarcasm, okay, by the way, okay. So anyways, so it's our 1 week anniversary. I know, I lasted a week in a relationship. Hallelujah. Oh, by the way, give me a thumbs up because I did not miss my bus. When I was panicking, I did not miss my bus, y'all, okay? Thumbs this video up because I did that, okay? So then what happens is, it's our 1 week anniversary and we're in math class. Let me give you guys, like, a little bit of a setup to how this looked like. Here was the doorway, okay? My friend was sitting here, I was sitting here, here's the teacher's desk. His two fake friends were sitting right here, and he was sitting right here. So he was sitting, like, across from me, but, like, in the middle of the room, okay? So we were sitting there, everyone was, like, partnered up or whatever, and we were all sitting there, and one of his fake friends goes, prude, really, 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 really loud. So everybody started, you know, giggling, chuckling, choking, you know, everything like that. So then his other fake friend followed it up by, she's prude. And I just remember, like, I felt like it was directed to me, but, like, nobody had the balls to be like, yo, like, you are prude, like, you know? So I just remember, like, sitting in that room, and I just remember, like, my eyes just, like, shot up, and it looked, like, directly at him, and then his eyes looked at me, and then I was just, like, stunned. Like, I was just sitting there. So I wrote my friend a note, and I was like, what does this mean? I was like, is this, like, a hip new thing people are using nowadays, like, that I don't know about, because apparently I'm, like, the last person to know anything. So she was like, no, it just means you won't, like, kiss him, you won't, like, you know, put your tongue down his throat or anything like that. And I was like, you're supposed to do that? And then she was like, well, yeah. And I was like, I didn't know that. Like, I just thought a relationship, like, you just call someone your boyfriend and he calls you your girlfriend and you're on your way. Like, I didn't think there was any physical stuff, okay? So she's like, well, yeah, like, what did you think? And I was like, I didn't think this. So then everybody started laughing or whatever. So, well, like, they didn't laugh at this conversation because they didn't know about it. So when I looked at him, he ended up saying something. Like, he was drinking his Gatorade. It was a different bottle Gatorade, okay? And he was, like, drinking it, and then he said something, and he was like, I know, or something, or like, oh gosh, or something, like something really immature. So I remember I felt like my face was just getting really hot, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, like this is what he thinks of me, but like he didn't even say it to me, like, you know, that's personal, like, you know. So anyways, so here was my math class, and then here was like my English class, okay, like that. So I had to walk. I like sonicked my way over from my math class to my English class because I was like, I did not want to be like talked to or anything like that. So apparently, because it's just my freaking luck, okay, so it's like that, alright? So then I'm right here, and I go like, boop, and I'm right here. And I stand there because this day everybody's going out so freaking slow at this damn room that like I couldn't get in because like everybody, you know, was coming out. So I was like, oh my gosh. So me and my friend are standing there, and she was like, he's coming, he's here. And he was like next to me when she said that. So he was next to me, and his two fake friends are like across from us in the hallway. Which, by the way, like a little side note, like this is so meaningless to the story, but like his two fake friends had never had a girlfriend and had never been kissed by anyone at this point except for their mothers. And I'm not even saying this just to bash them, but like it's the truth. Like I only speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and that's the truth, okay? So anyway, so we're standing there, and he's standing next to me, and he's like, why'd you leave without me? And I was like, I didn't want to be late. And he was like, you're not going to be late. Like, you're still standing out here. And I was like, better safe than sorry. At this point in time, I'm looking down at the ground. I'm holding this binder for, like, dear life. My legs are shaking. My hands are sweating. And, like, my body, like, all my senses are just, like, leaving my body. And I'm just on adrenaline at this point. So he's like, you know, it's our 1 week anniversary. And I was like, oh, it is? Honey, we all knew it was I knew it was our 1 week anniversary, okay? So anyway, so I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah. So he was like, can I kiss you? And then at this moment in time, this is when I just immediately started, I was just like, I don't know how to do this, and my body just stopped. So I was just like, I looked down at the ground, and I was like, okay. And I was like terrified, like, for, like, it's just a kiss, y'all. It's just a kiss. I know, but still. So anyway, so then he was like, okay. So he ends up kissing my left cheek. And I had like really chubby cheeks back then, so he ends up kissing like my left cheek. And I remember like I like ran into my room after he did that, and then he was like, where's my kiss? So I peeked my head out the doorway, and I was like, later. So then I went in back to my room, and I sat there, and I started to wipe my hands from like the sweat, and started to calm myself down, even though I was like hyperventilating and everything. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I told my friend what happened, because she was like, what happened? Because she didn't want to be late, so she like left. Well, she went into the room. So I told her, I was like, I got my first kiss, girl. Like, I am mature and everything. And she was like, where did he kiss you at? And I was like, right here on my left cheek, don't touch it. She was like, first off, I'm not going to touch it. Second off, that doesn't count, because like anybody can kiss you on your cheek. Like, that's for like family members. I was like, I don't even talk to my family, so hell no, ain't nobody, like, this is special, okay? So then she was like, well, that doesn't count. Like, it's supposed to be like on your lips. And I was like, okay, let me just, like, I couldn't even breathe for this little one, let alone like this big one, okay? So what happens is that day, later that day, I ended up like not seeing it after school. But my friend comes up to me, and then she was like freaking the heck out, and she was like, he got paid. And she was saying it in such a way like I thought something bad happened. So I was like, chill. I was like, what happened? And she was like, he got paid to kiss you. And I was like, what? And then she was like, he got paid to kiss you. Like, his friends his friends were like betting him that like since I didn't kiss him or whatever, like they were gonna bet him, like they were gonna pay him to kiss me. Which, by the way, like, again, if you've never had a girlfriend, you've never been kissed anyone other than your mother, you should not be paying other people to kiss other people, okay? Like, go pay someone to kiss you, okay? So anyways, so then what happens is, I don't believe it, obviously, because, like, to me, that's just a rumor, because, like, there's no facts or anything, like, I don't know. So I remember I went home later that night, and we were talking in MySpace, and, like, I told him, like, he was like, why didn't you kiss me? And I was like, well, I've never been kissed before. Like, this is my first relationship. I never liked anyone before. Like, I don't know how this stuff works. So he was like, well, neither have I. Like, you know, like, you're my first girlfriend, and like, da-da-da-da. So then I, like, dropped it on him, and I was like, well, did you get paid to? I was like, because there's, like, a rumor going around, and I'm not saying I believe it, but, like, you know, it's making sense how his fake friends were like, oh, like, she's prude or whatever, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, you all of a sudden, like, wanted to smooch me, and then, like, you know, like, it just, I don't know. So he got mad, and he was like, no, I didn't, like, why are you, like, believing other people, like, blah, and I was like, I'm not believing, I want to know both sides of the story. So he was like, no, whatever. So we argue, we end up actually breaking up on our 1 week anniversary, and I wasn't even, like, upset about it, because, like, I was just kind of, like, I wasn't even upset about it, because I was just kind of like, okay, whatever, like, doesn't even matter to me, like, I wasted all my energy on this, like, you know. So anyways, so then what happens is, I think like a day or two goes by, whatever, we start talking again, and he's like, you know, I miss you and everything, and he was saying, like, I love you and everything, and the thing is, like, when we started to date, like, during that 1 week that we dated, we actually planned out our future. Like, he wanted to go into the army after high school. He was like, we can get married after high school, like, when he goes in, like, before he goes into the army. So, like, it was just, like, we had, like, our whole, it was basically puppy love at this point. So then what happens is, we actually start talking and talking. We always talked about getting back together, but it just, like, never ever happened. So all that happened in the 7th grade. Here comes the 9th grade, where, you know, you're a little bit older, I guess a little bit wiser, I guess. This was our freshman year, and we had first period biology together, and he sat in front of me. So me being me, and this is when I kind of started to, like, flirt, I guess. I don't know. What happens is, he sat in front of me, and sometimes I would, like, wrap, like, my legs, like, around his legs, and I would, like, pull him forward, or pull him back, so, like, the back of his desk would hit the front of mine. And sometimes I would, like, purposely, like, when he's, like, passing papers, like, behind me, or, like, to me, I would, like, purposely, like, talk to someone, so, like, he would fully have to, like, turn around and, like, look at me. And sometimes there'd be, like, little fuzzies and stuff, like, on his shirt, and I'd, like, pick it, but then, like, I'd, like, trace, like, my hand, like, down his back or whatever. Like, I don't know. I was balling back then, okay? So anyways, so yeah, so then we actually, in 10th grade, so that was in 9th grade, in 10th grade, we really got, like, super duper close. Like, we were like, we want to date each other, like, this is it, like, we're grown now, and everything. And it just came, like, we were like, okay, like, we were, like, this close, like, just about to date, like, legit, like, we were there. So then what happens is, he drops one on me, and he was like, I'm dropping out of school, because he had some, like, serious family issues, like, he had to, like, take care of or whatever, so, like, he couldn't be in school. So I was just like, really? Like, it's always just my luck like this. So we ended up talking, we ended up going from talking and seeing each other every single day to about every other day to once or twice a week to, like, once a week, and then to, like, nothing. So we actually ended up not talking, I think, for about, like, 2, maybe, like, 3 years or so. And then we actually ran into each other on the street completely on accident, and we started talking again, and it just felt like back in the day, like, you know. So I was just kind of like, wow. And he was, like, giving me all these compliments, even though, like, my hair was in a bun. I had this big hoodie on, I had these skinny jeans on, I had my boots on, and it was, like, fall, I think, or something like that. And he was like, you know, like, oh, like, you look so beautiful or whatever. And, like, we basically just had, like, a catch up, like, nothing serious happened or anything like that. We did hug each other, and, like, when we hugged each other, we got, like, this close afterwards. It's like, you know, like, we were, like, just about to kiss, and I just removed myself, and I was like, because it's just, like, all the, like, the things, like, from back in the day, like, they just kind of hit you again, like, you know. So there was that, and then there was another time I saw him, and we got, like, this close, and I was just like, no, like, I couldn't bring myself to do it, like, you know. Even though I'm a pro now, okay, but, like, I just, like, couldn't do it back then, like, I don't know. But the advice that I want to give in this video is that don't let other people's opinion ruin your relationship, because people like to talk, and a lot of the times people don't want to see you happy. And it's crazy, because it's like the people that are closest to you, they don't want to see you happy, and it's like, how the heck are you supposed to be close to me if, like, you don't want to see me happy? This is what I think. A person is just basically, like, an opinion, you know. Like, if you're like, oh, well, I really like this guy that I'm dating or this girl that I'm dating, but my family doesn't approve, my friends don't like them, my turtle doesn't like them, like, whatever the case may be, like, you have to see why they don't like them. Like, like, get them, be like, oh, well, like, what's your side of the story? Like, why don't you like them? And you have to see, what it is about them that, maybe you're not seeing, because if you're in that stage of, like, the lovey-dovey, like the honeymoon phase, then obviously you're not gonna, everything's perfect in your world, like, but you have to be in reality sometimes, and you have to actually, like, really see, like, what is going on. But yeah, so don't let people's opinion affect your relationship, because at the end of the day, it's your relationship, and you and your partner are in that relationship. And people aren't going to be in that relationship. Like, at the end of the day, you're with yourself. And you're not around all these people, you're not, they're not in that relationship. Like, like, if we're in a relationship, God bless your soul, okay? But, like, if people, if they're like, oh, like, well, she's this and she's that, and then if people come up to me and they're like, oh, like, he's this and he's that, like, don't listen to people's opinions, okay? Like, it's good to hear it, but, like, kind of, like, let it go from one ear out the other ear. Like, if this person's treating you right and they're respectful to you, and they like you and they love you and they treat you the way that you want to be treated, then go for it. Don't let anyone stop you. But if people, like, are, like, really, like, bashing your relationship, you have to see why they're bashing your relationship, like, and don't judge people based on their, like, past. Like, if you meet a guy and he has, like, the whole thing of, like, a player or whatever, don't be that girl that's like, well, you're a player, like, you have to have your guard up, girl, okay? Like, you have to make sure, like, he ain't playing you, okay? But, like, at the same time, like, if people are always gonna bash your relationship, those people aren't in a relationship. And if you are one of those people that insert yourself into a relationship, insert yourself out of that relationship and get your own relationship, okay? There's enough people for everybody, okay? Don't be sharing, okay? Don't be doing sloppy seconds, 30 seconds. I don't know what that means, but okay. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys really took something away from this story. The fact that, like, don't listen to people because, they don't want to see you happy, and it sucks, but it's the reality that we live in. So yeah, so, I hope you guys are happy. I hope you guys love yourselves and love the person that you're with. I hope you guys love your relationship. If not, change it, reevaluate it, do what you want, because you're going to do it anyway. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!